my spouse is not loyal, doesn't respect my emotion, and doesn't feel that there is one more person in the relation, so still should I go ahead and love that person and keep the marriage alive?
But in reality, if you see, the loyalty difference between men and women are very different.
And your desire to be with that person is so much.
If that person is toxic and draining you, if you're having somebody else along with you, it should be the best.
Welcome again. We are back with new topic, and today we are going to speak about life before marriage and after marriage. So why should people get married? This question.
That's the most basic question.
Basic question.
Yeah.
So we were nomads maybe 10,000 years before, and we didn't have any concept called marriage. But later, when we had to search for food and we need to create shelter for us, then to have our offspring, we need to have two parents. So that is how the marriage concept came up. Since we want to grow our offsprings and we need to have a better protected environment for them. So that is how two parent system came into picture. And the parents and the marriage concept came up. Now, if we see the present time, we are also living in the abundance. So now women can earn their livelihood. Women can buy a house, buy food for themselves. They go to job.
Yes.
So the concept of marriage is somewhere dissolved now.
Yeah. Also, they're much more protected in the society, right? Comparatively to those previous ages.
Okay.
Right now, they're very free and they're also protected within the law system, everything. That's their concept right now, that we don't need a man because we already have everything all around us. This happens only because their mindset is so fixated towards a man means it's only about, protection, money, but things are there beyond that. See, first what I would say is, if we start from the beginning, you started with nomads, right? What about human beings before nomads? Before the word nomad? The concept of marriage then.
Okay.
It's like this. Chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are 1%. There's only 1% difference that they say. Okay.
I understand. The scientist will always find the similarities between different animals. Yeah,
but the only reason I'm telling you this is because when you have nature playing its role, correct? So when a masculine nature is there, a feminine nature is there, which means when a man is there, when a woman is there, the nature of the man, is usually hardship, to hunt, like animalistic behavior, I'm saying. But, we have this prefrontal cortex in our brain.
Okay.
That's the decision-making part of the brain. So this has evolved now recently, like in the thousands of years, it has recently evolved. It's a new concept to human beings in the millions of years of evolution, I'm telling you. We are learning to adapt all these things. So from an animalistic behavior, we are having this extra way of action, way of decision making. That I would say is we are becoming more conscious beings in the evolutionary scale. So when we are becoming more conscious beings, it's like those times when I'm coming back to those times, the earlier times, men used to hunt, bring food. They have a liking towards they have that natural tendency to fall or attraction towards the opposite gender, that is the female. It's the same thing with the woman. So when they both come together, they have a certain moral responsibility or a small duty that they had to, fulfill. It's a very natural thing. If you see in animals also, right, they have their own, own roles that they play. Same thing with human beings, right? So those times, it's like before marriage I'm talking about, a man, right, he could have had as many women as he wants, because he's protecting them. And those days the women, right, they used to like always get attracted to such a man who's the alpha male, who's taking care of the whole place, the community. So
yeah, there is always a confusion between alpha male and beta male. Can you elaborate on that?
So the difference is, see, alpha male is someone who leads.
Okay.
His dominance level is there. It's there in animals, it's there in everything. Every other creature has this thing, alpha male and beta male. So beta male is the one that follows, basically. Alpha is the one that dominates, beta is the one that follows. But I would say that people should go beyond this. And yeah, if I say beyond this, they might think again there is another sigma male, and you go on with all the other concepts, right? I think it's all bullshit.
Okay.
Society is getting divided in so many ways. But then you want to divide this more, and then you put this in children's head, right? That, oh, there is an alpha male, there is a beta male. So they're going to start behaving like that. See, naturally it is there. But you don't have to make that the basis of your reality and then start living like that. It's running deep in the society. All these things are just agendas that has been pushed by a certain number of people. It's not going to take the society any way forward. It's only going to divide the society even more. Even I can sit here and say that I'm the alpha male, I can do whatever. You can also sit and say I'm the alpha male, you can do whatever. But that's not going to help. It's just stupid if you think about it.
So alpha male deserves women and beta male doesn't deserve women. That is what you're saying?
First of all, it's not like anyone deserves anything, whether alpha or beta. A beta can become an alpha anytime, given he can remain quiet his whole life. And then one day some incident happens and he can be the most alphaist man ever.
Okay.
There can be an alpha guy who's been alpha completely throughout his life, and one day he just out of nowhere he can become the most beta guy ever. So this is just a stupid concept which they're just trying to promote to divide the society even more. Okay. In the society, right, whichever topic is getting a little attention, some guy somewhere thought something about it and then it's getting a little attention, then the other influencers want to take that topic and make that the new trend. This is what has happened. Tell me, 5 years back, did we sit and talk about this kind of a thing?
No, definitely not.
We were friends with everyone, right?
Yes.
But today you want to divide people by telling more of this.
Every possible way.
Exactly. Now, even men and women, they started dividing men and women even more worse than how there is obviously a difference. But right now they're dividing men and women. Despite that, they're bringing LGBTQ community into the picture and dividing it even more further, creating all kind of pronouns and genders right now. I have respect for them. I don't have hate. But consciously, if you think as human beings, right, how much more will you diverse human beings? Like,
we have discussed about this in our one of our
you can
podcast.
check out that podcast.
People can check out that. Yeah.
So coming back to what
the
I was telling
marriage.
you. Yeah. So the men who used to be at the forefront, who used to go hunting, who used to protect the women and children, he can have, if he has a liking towards women, he can, have any woman that he wants. And this is how it evolved later on. Even kings used to have a lot of wives, right? Yeah. So that concept was there, but then later on it slowly started changing because society norms, right? You need to balance that ratio.
Okay,
or between men and women. So this is again somebody sitting there trying to make calculations about the society, trying to put them in a good ratio so that we can build a better community. Basically lawmakers, all these people. So they brought in laws, and that's how that evolution happened of the law I'm talking about. And now it's like even adultery in India is offensive, right?
Yeah.
So it's only under the law. Correct. But in reality, if you see, the loyalty difference between men and women are very different. Okay, if a woman's emotion is attached towards a man, it is only that man. Until that emotion is there. It can change. For some people, it might be there throughout life, but that's where responsibility comes into the picture. Okay, because a man and a woman can have a bonding. That's a brief moment. It'll be there for a while, but there's a whole lot of life to live, right? That time, what happens is we start losing that emotion in the process, or some way it happens. There is no fairy tale about it. It will reduce over a period of time. But what keeps them together in the relationship is that responsibility that they took up. Okay, that they are there consciously with each other.
Yeah.
Not just like that, okay, they had a certain attraction, they got together. It's not like that. They know consciously that they are living together. Okay, that no matter what happens, they keep themselves in a certain way to make this marriage a success, so that the children they have also have a better environment to live, and they also have a good environment, basically, the whole family. So this is the reason it keeps going forward like this. But now, you know what it is. It's all because of agendas, the pushing of agendas. India's divorce rate was very less before,
Okay.
But now it's like it has increased so much. It has
I know.
increased
See, there is
rapidly.
I want to add a point there. What happens? What is the reason for divorce? Is like, are you loyal to your spouse? First thing. Now you can see the rise of single mothers, single
Yes,
fathers,
Yes.
and you might have watched YouTube where they check the DNA and identify the father of the child. Yeah. So this has gone wrong. The whole concept of marriage has gone wrong. When it comes to marriage, the first thing comes to your mind is sex. Sex is fun for most of the people.
Okay, let me stop there.
Yeah.
We've said the first thing that comes to the mind is sex when you think about marriage. See, that thing is only because you are just thinking like on a physical level. Okay, but marriage is more beyond that, right?
Okay.
Correct. So this concept is like, men and women are attracted, so they want to get together, get with each other. And the first thing that comes is what? Physical attraction. But there's more things like mental attraction. There are many more aspects to this. Okay. The reason divorce is happening on a rapid scale is because they're just physically attracted on one level. Either he's for her beauty or she's for his money or something like that. And then when they get to know the bigger picture of them, right? That's when they like slowly detach and it ends up in divorce. See, this concept was not there in India before the divorce concept I'm talking about.
Okay.
It was very less. This concept has arisen from the Western culture, from the West, and many things have come from the West in India. We know that. Divorce is also one quality which we have imported from there. In India, before, men used to initiate a lot of divorce. Okay, I saw this one article in Times of India. They were saying that in India, men used to divorce before, but now women are also getting the chance to divorce, and it's a happy news. We are also getting a chance to divorce, and they're just promoting this kind of a thing. They should have just given a better picture, saying there can be better ways of making the marriage happen. Okay, they can be more ways of making the marriage a successful marriage. They could have given topics like this. They're like, no, divorce is there for women also now. Now we can also divorce. Create such a kind of energy in the society, right?
Dumb.
So yeah, it is dumb. This is all agenda of some single lesbian sitting there and she's writing all this. I don't know. I'm just telling, but yeah, this is the truth. We even spoke about toxic masculinity and femininity, right? Like that, maybe some toxic feminist is sitting and writing all these things. Because anyone can get a job, right? If they have the qualification, anyone can get a job. They don't sit and think, how conscious is this human being? Oh, qualification, you can do this job. If I tell you this, can you write it? Can you do this? This is all there is, right? No one takes the initiative for humanity. That's the main problem.
Fine. So what connects two people in marriage? If you say sex is not the only option which connects, what else? Is it finance, emotions, social comfort? What is it? What is the secret of long marriages?
Have you heard the concept many people are talking about, that marriage is an enslavement?
Okay.
This is their idea. Many people today, all the liberals also, like the new age people, this is what they talk about. Marriage is an enslavement.
How?
But
Why?
for whom? They usually say for women.
Okay.
Woman is enslaved under marriage. But if woman is enslaved under marriage, then they should understand that man also is enslaved under marriage. considering the justice system. The law supports the women so much, and 70% of the divorces are initiated by women throughout the world. Okay, in India it is rising big time. It's all because of the change of attitude, adopting Western culture.
And top 5 richest women were created because of divorce.
Yeah, because they took half the half the
Money.
property of all the rich men, right?
Yeah. Then who is the right spouse for you? How do I find it?
You should first check if you are the right person towards anybody. You can get any kind of a person, but then what is the right thing for you to do there? And how much better can you make yourself and that person? What is the best thing that you can do for yourself and that person? You have to have that kind of an attitude. See, divorce is good. I'm not saying divorce is all bad, but unnecessary divorce without understanding, without actual commitment, getting into such a mindset, that is very bad. You might have a very abusive husband who just drinks and then slaps you and beats the kids, everything. Divorcing that kind of a human being, obviously,
It's good.
it's good. You cannot live a life like that. The same thing, if he has a narcissistic wife and then she just manipulates him and abuses him and does all kind of things, he has the right to divorce her. That's also a good thing. Correct. But unnecessary divorce, simply getting attracted and then you just, without even understanding what that other person is, the opposite gender, let it be man or woman. I'm talking about LGBTQ also, because I don't want to let them outside the picture, because this is for human beings. Everybody is there in this topic. So without understanding the opposite gender, or opposite whoever it is, because it's LGBTQ, you get into a marriage very fast, you make things happen very fast. This is the, culture of instant gratification. You want everything to happen very fast.
Okay.
You want the likes to come very fast. You want the comments to come very fast. It's like that.
Okay.
So you want marriage, everything to happen very fast. It won't last like that. Leave the term marriage. It's like when two human beings come together, it's more about the understanding, more about the bonding nature, more about putting that person first before you. Either of the sides. It's putting that person first before you. Okay. See, there are some differences when it comes to a man, because he has to build his career. He has to build that standing position so that he can take care of everyone. Now that understanding is different. They might mix up all of these things and then just put it in one category. That is not right. Everyone have the roles to play. So it all comes under being a conscious human being. The more they identify with gender without even realizing that you're a conscious human being, the more disaster is going to happen.
Okay. So which life is better? Before marriage or after marriage?
Life is better.
Life itself is better?
Life is better. I know this is a topic about before and after marriage, but life is good. Life is better. Life should be better. Life should be the best before or after marriage, right? But if you're having somebody else along with you, it should be the best. You're all alone before, you're single, life is going good, great, amazing, good for you, that is one. But you have somebody else along with you, then the life should be at its best. Because you have somebody else along with you.
Life after marriage is best.
It should be the best.
It should be the best. Fine. But life before marriage, you get time for yourself. You can think about you can understand about yourself. You can go deep into yourself and understand yourself. So people are rushing for marriage in India or anywhere in the world. They try to get married in 20s. Maybe by 25 to 30, they try to get married.
Even now 2K kids are doing that.
Yes. So what is the right age to get married? If age can't define your maturity, so what kind of maturity level you should have before getting married?
Correct. I understand what you said. That is the reason I was telling you that a conscious understanding should be there. When you get married fast, and like how you told me right just now, what happens is entanglement with each other. You said there won't be space for self-learning, self-improvement. There won't be space for self-understanding or like so many other things. When you're entangled like that, right, there is no space for growth, not just for you, for the other person also. You're
Okay.
two individual human beings coming together. No matter whichever love story you hear in the world, you're going to be two individual human beings only. You're not going to become one. You cannot get into each other's skin and become one. No matter what, you are two individual human beings. If you go more spiritual in this, you are two separate lives. You have your own karmic values, you have your own own journey, but you're there together, you're moving together in a journey. You have to give that space, you have to respect that space of each other, because you're now evolved human beings, right? You can make better decisions, you're educated, you are understanding. So give each other space, give each other time. You have a lifelong time. I know anyone can die at any moment, but you cannot keep that in your mind and just do everything in a hurry. Your patience is the only thing that can make not just your marriage, your life successful. Don't get into an entanglement. When that happens, it's always going to be a disaster. Be it friendship, be it marriage, be it anything. An entanglement will always lead to disaster. When you respect human spaces, when everything will go great. And one last thing, this thing of possessiveness, correct? The thing of having an eye always about the other person. Reduce all these things a bit. Like, keep yourself calm, first of all. When you have internal calmness, right? And that itself will remove all the jealousy, the extra possessiveness, all these things. Because when that comes into the picture, it makes things ugly. All these qualities are required. And when you're conscious, you can adopt such qualities and make it better. You can make yourself better. You can make the other person better. This is the only reason a marriage exists. To make each one of us better.
Fine. With our conversation, you have demonized divorce. But some feel divorce is very much liberating.
Yeah,
because
I'm not demonizing divorce. I'm just saying that it is good, but it has to be put in its place. That's all. If everyone wants divorce, then it'll keep going on. See, it's people's own choice. If you're using the word divorce, according to society norms, these are the things that will happen, and this is the breakdown of a society. That's all I'm saying. Then we are going back to nomad times only,
Correct.
Usually when you're married, you settle down and you're in one place, right? But now it's not like that. You pack your bags and you leave this room and then go to another room, find a guy there or find a girl there. And then from there you pack your bags, move to another room. This is how the concept is right now in today's society.
Fine.
No matter how hard the feeling is, this is the reality.
Got it. So, which is that force which keeps the two individual together? Is it a social structure of a place or culture, or two individuals' emotions, or what is it which connects two individuals for longer time? Because what we see is the divorce rate are increasing, and it is between 5 to 6 years they get divorced, most of the couples. But we have seen in India that couples live for 40 years, 30 years long till they die. What is that force which our present generation is missing? Whether it is abundance of resource, what is it? Because feel threatened because everybody is getting divorced, let me also get divorced. My spouse is toxic. Possibly the toxic meaning of toxic is different in present time. So what is happening? What is wrong with present generation?
The first word I would say is it's becoming superficial. Okay. Now the term toxic, for an example, you say toxic. You can say one small thing also is toxic. In class, maybe you asked your friend for an eraser. He didn't give you, or she didn't give you, and that's toxic. And then you make a big fuss about it. It's just like that. It's all about love.
Love.
People underestimate the concept of love. Love is that certain quality which you have. That quality from you, you're willing to share with somebody else. How strong is that love? How pure is that love? I'm not talking about any other habits of beings, but love is totally different. Okay, habits are different, but love is something that you have, that you are willing to share. Nobody can come and take love from you, right? They cannot forcefully take it. It's a thing that you have and you want to give, you want to share. The term love and infatuation, these two terms are there. So attraction, they get attracted, but then they later on come to know a certain thing, but then their attraction level goes down. That's different. Infatuation, all these things. But love stays forever because you're having love. You're having that within you, and you're willing to share that because you have that quality as an individual. Doesn't matter what that person is doing or saying or whatever. Okay? You are willing to share, and it's all about that.
Okay.
You're not trying to take love from that person. That's the main problem. People are always trying to take things from the other person. It doesn't work that way. Because when you're doing that, it'll get exhausted someday or the other. How long will that person take your bullshit? They're going to say, okay, I need a divorce now.
Fine. So see, when I love my spouse is not loyal, doesn't respect my emotion, and doesn't feel that there is one more person in the relation. So still, should I go ahead and love that person and keep the marriage alive, or what is it?
You should try your best, first of all. Not take an instant decision that, no, that's it, I can't stay. That's not the way of living. Many couples get into a relationship and they break up after 6 months, just like divorce. When you have love towards someone, you want to share it genuinely.
Okay.
It doesn't get exhausted, because love is what I think the universe is, the God is.
Okay. So in the search of love, people get multiple divorces. They try to find a better person every time.
Yeah, and that will not stop. The person who is doing that will not stop. They'll find a person. That person is not, in accordance with their level or their understanding of love, and they're going to break up or divorce. They'll find another person. Same thing will happen, but in a maybe a little more extreme way, and it'll keep going on. It's a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle, and in the end, they remain divorced. They're going to remain alone in their later stages of life, where they could have been happy with children and a husband. They could have been happy. Maybe have a pet also in the house. It could have been a beautiful family. See your children grow, they get married, and you having grandkids. There's so many people around you who really love you. They could have lived such a beautiful life. But that's what the fake, toxic, stupid feminism, preaches and sells to them. It's all an agenda. It goes for men also. They want to divide and rule. But you know why this is happening? It's because you get separate consumers now.
Okay.
In a family, a nuclear family, the father buys whatever it is in the financial aspects. The whole family enjoys that. That is one. But now when you have so many products, so many things that you want to sell in the market, that's when you break apart people, the family. From one customer, you have 5 customers or 4 customers. Correct? That means you got more profits now. This is all agenda played by the people in the shadows. It's the truth. If you really look into it, right? Most of them who really have an eye and look into a society, look into the existential reality of where we are and what we are doing as human beings, all these things are there. Those people are very narcissistic. Okay. They play with your mind. They want to destroy families so that they get more consumers, more profits for the company. There is evil in this form.
Definitely, the whole system is forcing people to get divorced and be a individual bread earner so that the products get sold, the houses will be purchased, the loans will be taken.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, but there is one more side of it. So, when you're a youngster and you have a multiple sex partners and your spouse doesn't have so many sex like you, and you both end up in a relationship, and does it create an imbalance between two of you, that okay, my spouse had so many sex partners and I didn't have enough, so should that spouse cheat him and have sex outside the marriage? So what is it happening? What is the best sexual practice for a marriage or before marriage?
When you say sexual practice, it means there is a little bit of perversion in it. You cannot get attracted to another opposite gender or somebody else if you don't have a little bit of perversion in it. This is the most basic factor. That's the only reason you have that certain, emotion towards that other being. Otherwise, so what if that other human being is having whatever form, man or woman, whatever they are physically, so what does it matter? Only because nature is creating that one spark within you, which is creating that attraction, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason. See, those days, like I told you, in the initial days, in the ancient times, or like before that, when a man has multiple women, it's a different concept there, because those women don't have a choice. They need that man for survival. All those women, and that one strong man used to be there. The same kings, queens, all this time, it all changed. But right now, in our society where we have law and order in place, and all these things are there, our mind still is there, still goes back there sometimes.
Okay.
The idea of men, see, it's a natural thing. Okay, how when LGBTQ can say that what they have is very natural, I can be sitting here saying that I'm a man. Me having a multiple, interest in women, that also is very natural for me. I'm not talking about love. I'm only talking about that part which you spoke.
Correct.
Love is different. I can love one woman. I can still, no matter how many girls I see, I can still, share that love with one woman only. I can still do that as a man. But for a woman, once physically she engages with another man, it's over.
Okay.
Her interest is gone from any other outside view. But what happens is, when that practice keeps going on and on for her, she loses that one man's touch, basically.
Okay.
So she's ready, or she's okay with, getting more men in her life. She's okay with that. That's their choice. I'm not saying it. But consciously, if you're moving towards a better life, it won't take you there to a better life. All these kind of, practice, it will not take you there. You'll only end up miserable, because those men I told you, they might be loyal to some girl.
Yes.
I told you men and women's loyalty is different.
Okay.
He might be loyal to some girl.
Correct.
But he might just come and sleep with you.
Fine.
But you will think that, okay, this is the man, and then you put all your emotions there.
Okay.
But then later he goes back to his loyal girl.
That
to
is a
his
mistake.
girl who he loves.
Yeah.
Okay, but she then loses it there. Then again she'll try to find a better one. You see where it's all getting interconnected in the society?
Yeah, I understand.
That is why parents has the most important role in the society. Shri, even in institute.
Yeah.
Okay, you see nowadays how girls are twerking on the stage. Guys are doing all kind of, promiscuous things. Both the genders. The college institutes allow them. Why is that? It's a very simple thing. If they say no, do you think the students will come and join? Do you think they're going to get their money for the college?
Business.
Everything is a business. The whole college is a scam. In today's day and age, college is a scam, and many of you know that. Students themselves know it. It's a big scam. You can learn everything online. You can learn everything there's so many technologies that can help you learn. Everyone has a cell phone today. Even in the village you go, a farmer has cell phone. Everybody has technology today. You can grow your child at home. In the sense, you can homeschool your children. And that's the best thing. Not having outside influences. Because today's influence from the society is so diverse and negative, so evil. It's always this drugs, multiple partners, and violence, and this is how it has to go.
What do you speak about nuclear structure of present families? So people used to live in a quite big families, having at around 60 to 70 people, maybe more than 100 also. Now a nuclear family where maximum 4 to 5 people live together, which was better for a long lasting marriage and mental peace of a person. So what do you say?
I would say mental peace doesn't come from outside scenarios, wherever you are. Okay. It has to be always from within, right? If you keep depending on mental peace from outside scenarios, you're never going to find it. The nuclear structure has always given a better child, the society. The
Okay.
child has grown in a much more better environment. I'm talking about proper, good, wonderful human beings, happy human beings, nuclear families. I'm not talking about extremes. There's always extremes in the society, anywhere. Those extremes will always try to destroy the happy ones. This is how it is. You think
Okay.
all these women or men, whoever are breaking up or going ahead with divorce, do you think they're all very happy with their lives? They want to get divorced and then they find another one. You think they're very happy? It's all like a timeline, like a backlog they will keep having in their mind. It'll keep coming to them. Those men who really understand life and understand people and have seen the hardship of life, when they see a divorced woman, right, having so many backlogs, they can see the pattern in her behavior. They can see what is going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's why they should avoid such relationships or avoid such energies, because that is going to take them in a very dark path if they get into that relationship.
Okay.
And to be honest, statistically speaking, men suffer depression more than women, and they suffer depression in a very, very harsh way comparatively. It takes a physical toll on them. Men are more physical, right? We are more physical. But what happens one day when we get depressed? It's like our whole body crumbles. The gender that commits more suicide are men.
Yeah, this depression is totally different, and one can explain about this kind of depression is when he has himself felt that depression.
Correct.
Nobody else can explain this, the feeling of depression.
Luckily, we have some good leaders, good teachers out there. One such person is Dr. Jordan Peterson. Okay, he's an amazing psychologist. They try to cancel him also.
Oh,
He's going through a lot right now. We'll speak about this on another podcast, but he's going through a lot. But he tells both for men and women, he's on both their sides. He tells so many inspiring things and wonderful structures to bring balance in our society. But they don't want that to happen. That's the agenda. They want to put him in a bad place. They've done it to him also. Anybody who comes for the greater good of society is always cancelled, destroyed in some way or the other.
correct.
And the majority, 60% of the population stands with that cancel culture. That's how it works.
In a marriage, when should a person feel hopeless about his marriage, and when should he raise his hand and say that it's time for divorce?
That question, I think, is an individual's answer only. How far can you take it? If you can, try to think that you can make it work. Do your best. Okay, try always possible. But there is always one thing in the mind for a conscious thinking human being. They will understand that this person is like this only. This person is going to remain this way. This person is not going to change. Okay, and that's the time you can choose whether to be or to live. See, if that person is toxic and draining you,
Yeah.
knowingly, you have all the right to leave then and there. But if there is space and room for growth and improvement, why would you leave? That's a process you're building together, right? You cannot have a ready-made human being just to get married. Oh, this is a ready-made human being. I can get married. I can have whatever I want. This is not the way things are supposed to go, right? You're there to build qualities together. You're there to help each other grow. And you can't put marriage and divorce in the same, in the same space.
Okay.
Always marriage has to be here and divorce has to be down.
Last
but today
possible
it's like
thing.
Divorce is all up and marriage is all down. Imagine the mindset of the bride and grooms when they're getting married, right? It's all about how I can be. It's not what I can do for this person. How can I make that other person happy? What are the best qualities that I can build in myself to make this relationship successful? It's not like that. Majority is very less who think like that.
Fine then.
I mean, it's a minority of people.
So marriage, even though we are living in abundance, marriage has lot of benefits like you have explained. Financial benefits, social benefits, and emotional benefits.
Needs, like physical needs, everything. That's the reason the marriage is structured. See,
health benefits.
Can I ask you a question? Throughout the world, marriage is there. Throughout the world, the concept of marriage. How is it different in India and other places? Or how did it come into picture that every culture is getting married?
The sense of need of security.
Correct.
The structure to create an offspring, a better offspring.
Correct. Better place for an offspring.
Yeah, better place for an offspring. Yeah. So.
But in India, especially, it's a little more ritualistic. Little more. Today it's like this. And when I say ritualistic, they think all kind of dark things. It's not like that. There are beautiful ritualistic practices for creating a better energy, better space when you get married. The culture has built like that. Especially in the South Indian culture, we have this very strong. Okay. But right now, even South Indian culture is gone. It's completely dismantled, dissolving.
The worst possible case is to face the divorce.
Yes.
Once the divorce happens, people has to bear the divorce cost. And people take debt for their wedding. And they pay this debt for almost the time, 5 years, 6 years. Almost till the time they get divorced. So it's a brutal thing to get divorced, and people has to go through depression after divorce.
But men suffer more with the depression.
Men suffer more.
Women. No matter what people sit and argue, this is the truth.
Yeah, but how should one manage the divorce? Male or female?
Don't get into relationship immediately. Once they get divorced, right, immediately they're going to start searching for another partner or another, they want to hold on to something because there's no security there, right? They want to hold on to something. Stop that first. Start feeling secure within yourself. Correct? When you don't have the necessity to simply impress or find another person and hold on to somebody, then you're much safer because you have you. And this is the only thing that you came with, and this is the only thing you go with. You're not going to take anybody else along with you and go. So that self-improvement, self-development has to happen. And all that will happen when you are a child. That mindset has to grow from then.
Okay.
And for that mindset to grow better, you need good parents. At least wonderful parents, joyful parents, parents with a sense of understanding and living. And when you want to have such wonderful parents, you need wonderful marriages. It's a circle. It all comes back to that.
Correct.
Those who have a lot of psychological problems, it all stems back to when they were a child. It's called inner child issues, inner child problems, which they have to solve. So work on yourself first before you go and try to grab something from others. When you work on yourself and you're feeling better with yourself, you will not try to take anything from others. You will in fact try to give what best qualities you have to the people around you. And when you do that, that's when you're successful inside you, around you, and you're going to be successful everywhere. Success doesn't mean just that you have money. It's not that.
Correct.
Success as a human being involves all kind of qualities, where you're happy. Financially also is another part, but most importantly, the people around you are happy. If you can make your family happy, it's one good thing. If you can make your community happy, your state happy, your whole country happy, or you can make the whole world happy.
Fine. So
How
that's
the thing.
really deep.
And we are all working towards that. It's better that everyone should work towards that.
Fine. There are a few alternative for marriage, like living will, domestic partnership, civil union,
Whoa.
cohabitation, common law marriage. So these are alternate for marriage. So should one go through this kind of legal understanding?
Yeah, they said alternatives for marriage. Right?
Yes.
So there, once they did all the other extra bullshit points that you said.
Yes.
Just saying they're
Yeah,
bullshit.
I understand. Yeah.
So they're all very happy there and they're permanently together in that.
Definitely not.
Obviously not. These are just psychological problems that they're trying to create something new, trying to find happiness in different ways. It's not going to work out. You can have 100 more like alternatives for marriage. If the first one doesn't work, how do you think the other ones will work? That's the most basic thing.
There is also concept of marrying yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, the marrying yourself and accepting yourself, like you said, to make feel happy about
Yeah.
yourself.
but I feel that marrying yourself is a little bit extreme.
Little bit extreme, but since one is not able to keep up their marriage and they are divorcing maybe 2 to 3 times in their lifetime, they have to marry themselves at the end. They have to accept what they are, what color they are, how much money they have.
All seems like psychological problems only.
Fine.
It is 100% psychological problems. Because if not, you would have been happy with somebody, or you could have been happy with yourself, but not getting self-married and all. That's very weird.
Self-married is a concept where you are happy being single.
Yeah, but you don't have to call it self-married. Like, so that means you're insecure that there is a word called marriage and people are getting married. But then here you call yourself self-married. Why call yourself I'm single? But people that comes out of insecurity. If you're single, you're single. But then when you die, nobody's going to be there in the end.
Fine. I think we have spoken most. Yeah.
And also, in the Supreme Court, right, on I think 18th of 2023, May or June,
Yeah.
the Supreme Court of India has observed that the number of divorce cases have come from love marriages.
Okay.
If it's a love marriage, why would they have to get divorced?
So it's not infatuations, like you said.
It is infatuation, like I said. It's not love.
Okay.
If it is love marriage, it has to sustain, has to
Correct.
be there. But this love is all about, taking something from the other person. This is that kind of a love. How will it sustain? Okay, now coming to arranged marriages. If you are getting arranged marriage, it's your responsibility to understand that you don't know this human being before, but because of arranged marriage, all of a sudden you're in it together. So you have to find out things. It's in fact a much more different experience to understand and to grow. It's a ground for you to learn so many things for both the individuals. How to have better perspectives on each other and yourself. How to create that space. How to create a balance. How to create a conducive environment for a better life, for growing. You need to look at it that way. Correct, in arranged marriages. I don't think this arranged marriage concept is there in the West, right?
It's no more. But they had this concept.
Now, obviously, agenda has sold everything. It's sold out.
Because the parents are single.
Yeah, parents are
They are
single.
raised by single mothers or single fathers.
See, the
And-
problem is when children are growing up, right? 1 to 7 years, they're like sponge. They will just absorb anything in their surrounding. When you have constant fights, constant arguments, Suppose some parents are hitting each other, or all this abusive environment, their parents are drinking, smoking in front of the children. You do all these things in front of the child. What is the child going to do? Even if it doesn't understand, it has already absorbed it. Once they grow, that memory will come out, it will grow, it will multiply in a different way. So that's why you need to bring conscious human beings first. Then you need to make yourself much better. Then you get along with somebody. Create a conscious environment. Both of you consciously do it. Only then wonderful things are going to happen. If not, it's going to only end up in disaster. See, some people, they don't have to be completely conscious human beings and all, but the love that they have and the love that they share with another person, that itself is a different level of devotion. Okay.
Correct.
But if I'll just tell you, this is how this society works. Okay. If there's a wonderful innocent girl, she has a devotion towards her husband.
Yes.
Which is very pure. The girls around her, they won't be quiet. They will try to destroy that as much as possible. They're going to try to spoil her mind and destroy that marriage. That is the thing. They cannot have good things. Girls themselves don't trust other girls.
Correct.
As much as we trust another man. Why girls have more male friends?
Because
today?
they trust them.
Yeah, because they cannot trust their own girlfriends around them. Then how is it that I'm going to trust the girl that I'm going to be with?
Correct.
I mean, it all goes like that. I'm saying trust yourself. Make yourself better.
Fine. So we will speak something about spirituality in marriage.
Yeah.
And we will conclude today's topic.
Yeah. What is your thing about spirituality?
See, I have some ideas on marriage. So in India, marriage happens for 7 births.
Oh.
So also we have explained about the birth cycle in first video. It's all about desire.
The
Third video, yes. It's all about desire. So if you have a good partner and you have lived for almost 40 to 50 years in one lifetime, and your desire to be with that person is so much that in next life birth, the same person will be your life partner.
I've heard such a concept, yeah.
Yes, because you are expecting that person to be around you all in lifetime. Maybe when you say 7 lifetime, I think it's infinite lifetime.
Yeah, it is. You never know.
Never know
what it is.
Yeah. So this is one of the concept in spirituality. And what happens is, if you quarrel with your spouse and in next birth you are short of right person, I feel that is the reason, and you don't have any desire for marriage, a desire to live with one person for a long time. That is how the divorce happens in consequent births. So the desire, keep the love for the other person, that creates desire, and that keeps the marriage not for this lifetime, for many lifetimes to come. So if you want the long lasting marriage, forgive your spouse and
forgive yourself.
Keep the marriage for a long time and solve all your issues, and that person will be your spouse for so many lifetimes to come.
We will talk about desires and love in another episode.
Okay.
But if you go deep into it,
sure,
that creates more separate pathways for you. It'll become a never-ending karmic process.
Yeah.
The desire and all that. But we'll talk about that. But spirituality in marriage, I feel marriage is based on spirituality. Okay, because you're coming together. Physically, you might not become one, but inside you're becoming one, right? That's the most important thing. When you're one, when you're a unified force, you need to work towards the betterment of it. Okay. They just have to understand where they are, play their roles better. You have to work on yourself, And that is enough spirituality to be understood. However deep spirituality can go,
Yeah.
but the most basic thing to be understood is you need to work on yourself together.
Correct. Like I have read in one of the spiritual book that there is a concept called divine love.
Oh, yeah.
So where you are ultimately connected to one spouse, your whole spiritual progress is based on to be with that person.
So yeah, there is more depths to it.
More depths to
then
it.
then people can understand. If they understand all these things, they won't divorce, obviously, or neither will they get into a wrong relationship in the first place. Overall, of whatever we spoke, this is all just human trial and error.
Correct.
But if we want the next generation to be at its best, whatever trial and errors we did, it's best we correct them before the time runs out. That's all I can say. That's all there is. And I'm sure every generation has thought about it like this.
Correct.
But yeah, humanity, is it going to fall or rise? We'll see. All right, Shri.
We'll end this podcast.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. If you liked this podcast, please subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and share this podcast so that somebody else can get such knowledge. That what we have learned, we're just sharing. It's not that we're all completely knowledgeable. We're just sharing what we know. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.